Good morning, good morning. It's garlic planting time. One of my favorite times of the year is to get garlic planted, and I am so excited. So I've got my bulbs of garlic, and we're gonna head back to the veggie garden. I'm a little bit late, so it's a little past veggie, or a little past garlic planting time, but we're getting them in the ground. Here we go. So, you guys just saw me fill this raised bed. I'm so excited to have a tall, nice raised bed, especially to get my garlic in. This is a perfect little bed. It's 4 feet by about 2 feet deep. It's nice. I can reach all the way to the other side. So first, I'm gonna go over last year's garlic harvest. This is what I had. I grew some really nice big bulbs, I think. And I grew hardneck and softneck last year, but I also had some really tiny bulbs, and that's okay because I have been using all of them. I've been trying to use these smaller ones first and holding off on using these big ones. These big ones will store much better. My problem though is that these big ones that I have are hardneck garlic, which I'm going to go over in just a second. And then the rest of these are some hardnecks and mostly softnecks in here. So what I mean by that is you can see here's the neck of it, and you see how it folds over. That is a soft neck. And then this right here is a hard neck, and this doesn't move at all. So I can't bend that. There's a hard stem in there. My hard necks did really well this last year, and my soft necks did not do well at all. But when I was in Baker Creek, I didn't even think I was gonna do garlic this year, but I found some garlic, and they had a combination of hard neck and soft neck. I wish I remembered the variety. It was so crazy when I was at Baker Creek, and I just grabbed 2 of each. I think one's like an Italian garlic, and I have no clue what the other one is, but 2 soft necks, 2 hard necks, and I'm gonna go over these really quickly. So the plan for today is get this bed planted up with these right here, and then I'm also gonna show you guys, it's time for me to process these. We're getting, later and later into the season, so what I need to do is I need to take these and I need to store them so they don't go bad by the time this garlic is ready to be pulled up and used. We are planting this now, middle of October, and we won't be harvesting this until sometime in July. Usually the beginning of July, sometimes a little bit later. I'm expecting a little bit later because I'm a little late to the game this year with getting my garlic planted, but that is okay. So I'm gonna turn the camera around and get it so it's a little bit closer so you guys can see this crystal clear. Okay, so we have our garlic cloves right here, and this is the soft neck variety. You can see that. The necks are very soft and movable on these. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop these open like you would do with pretty much any garlic. And then here we go, we have our cloves in here, and we wanna leave on as much of this paper as possible. So we're gonna plant one of these guys just like this. This needs to point towards the sky, bam, and then this part goes towards the bottom. You can see here are some of the old roots, so that's also how you know it's the bottom. Sometimes they don't have that. You can see this one doesn't have any of the roots on the bottom, but when you open this one up, same thing. You'll see there's the point towards the sky, and here's this flat part that needs to go to the bottom. I'm gonna set this back over here so I don't get confused. And these guys are gonna be spaced about 6 inches apart, so relatively close. And we're gonna go about 3 to 4 inches deep. So my plan is to take this bed, I'm gonna divide it in half this way. So half of this over here will be the soft neck garlic, and this half over here is going to be the hard neck garlic. This bed will not be usable until sometime in July, and that's okay. So let's lay this garlic out and get it planted. If you guys are in colder zones and your guys' winter has already started, you definitely want to get out there and get these planted. If you haven't gotten them planted, that is okay. You can just put your garlic in the refrigerator. Put it in one of the drawers down below and keep it in the refrigerator until springtime. And once springtime hits, then you're gonna come out here and plant it. It's really good for soft neck garlics to do that. Hard neck garlics, if you're in warmer zones like I am, that's okay. You can just go ahead and pop these guys in the ground. Soft necks produce more cloves, so you'll see that there are a ton of cloves in here. You'll get like 15 to like 20 cloves sometimes, And then this hardneck will produce anywhere from 6 to, I think, 12 heads or 12 cloves. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not counting that little one. 9, 10, 11. Okay, and even if we did that little one, 12, which this is not one that you want to plant. You want to plant the best looking ones, and that's going to give you your best results. So this little tiny guy, I'm just going to end up throwing it in my bowl in here, and I will just process it. So I have all of these guys there to plant. So let's get started. If you are already getting frost and you're already getting snow, it's okay. Just go get garlic and put it in the fridge. And in the springtime, you're going to go ahead and plant it out. So you can see right here, the hardneck has this central stem that goes up and out of it. And this thing is extremely hard, and that's gonna go up, and that's actually what produces a big flower at the top. And you do wanna cut that off before it flowers when your garlic is growing. Otherwise, it's sending all of its energy into producing seed instead of producing more cloves. You're probably noticing that I didn't use any fertilizer in this garlic bed. Normally I would normally go in with a bunch of Espoma Biotone or Plant Tone or just any slow release fertilizer over this season. But because I just built this bed a couple days ago, and it's full from top to bottom with really, really rich compost and with a whole bag of brand new potting soil, there's enough fertilizer in here that I'm not going to worry about it until springtime. So come springtime, I'm going to go ahead and fertilize. I'm going to do a top dress on there now, but I figured for now there's enough nutrients in here to really get these guys going. What they need is they need all the energy during this like cold time to start putting on root growth. You might see little bits poking up out of the holes, little stems of green, and that's okay if they start showing up and you get snow. They might just die back a little bit, but it's okay. Don't freak out. Don't worry about it. You don't need to cover these guys. They're okay. They're super hardy, and it's okay if a little bit of growth starts coming up out of the ground. I wouldn't be surprised if, for me, in warmer zone 9A, that these guys started growing and I started getting like, you know, a couple inches of growth out of these. That would not surprise me at all. That normally is what happens for us in warmer zones. I think if you're in a zone 10 or higher, you definitely want to, if you're in zone 10 or 11, you definitely want to put your garlic in the fridge until the springtime. It needs a little bit of a cold stratification period, but not anything like tulips or other things like that need. So we go ahead and we're going to plant these now. They're all in the ground. It's really exciting, my favorite time of year. And I think we're going to go inside now, and I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to process last year's garlic. Well, I guess it's technically this year's garlic, but it's the one that I planted literally a year ago. I planted this stuff and harvested it. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do with these so that way I can continue to use them all winter long. Hardneck garlics have a much shorter shelf life than softneck garlics, so that's kind of why I grow an array of them. Hardneck garlic has much more intense flavor and much larger cloves. You just get less of them. Softneck, you get smaller cloves, you get more of them, and a little less flavor. I can't really tell the difference, but that's just what the experts say. But they do have a much shorter shelf life, and I can already see that they're starting to wrinkle on the paper because they've been sitting on our counter all summer long. This actually has been condensed down to a smaller bowl. We had it in a much larger bowl, and I've been giving away some of our large cloves in veggie baskets to some of our neighbors over the summertime, which was really cool. Normally what I do is I take my softneck garlic and I braid them and I keep them on the wall, and we just cut off one of these cloves, but they were so small this year that it just didn't make any sense. Hardnecks you can't braid. This stem goes all the way up. The softnecks you're able to braid. But we didn't get enough soft necks that were large. So we're gonna go inside now, and I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna process this to be able to continue to use it, and so I don't lose any of this over the winter time, because I can already see the decline starting to happen. So what I will do is I'll probably leave like 2 of these out on our counter, and then the rest of this is gonna get chopped up and put in our fridge. So we're gonna go inside really quick, and I'm gonna show you guys how to store your garlic. You probably noticed that I didn't use every single clove. I've got a pile over there of the hard neck and some of these of the soft neck. So I just didn't use any of these much smaller ones. I tried to use every single big one that I could. There's a couple that are left that are, you know, a decent size, but I wanted to use all the big ones that I could first, and I am limited on growing space. And same thing over here. I have one more that I would like to plant, but the hardneck gave me so many that were so large, and very few that are small. This is the bottom piece. So, I mean, like, these are all really good size, just a few little tiny ones. So what I will do though is I'm going to take these inside, and those inside I'm going to add them to my bowl, and we're going to process these for eating also. Another really great thing about growing your own garlic is if you want, you save your garlic. And I really didn't need to buy any garlic to plant this year. I could have just taken some of these heads right here, tore these up, and planted these bulbs. But I knew that I wanted some of the, you know, soft neck stuff, and I don't want to repeat this process. So I just figured buy fresh and get it planted. But you can totally, you buy it one time and you just get to have garlic growing in your garden forever. So that's a really, really cool thing. I get really, really excited about garlic planting season. Okay, so we're inside now, and you are not gonna judge my kitchen. The house is 100 years old and we haven't renovated it. So I'm gonna show you guys what you need to be able to process and store your garlic. Okay, so all that we need for this process is something to smash up our garlic. So I have this little tiny blendery thingy, and then, or you can use a garlic press if you don't have one of these, super easy. A knife, a cutting board, a Ziploc baggie, your garlic, most importantly, parchment paper, and a baking sheet. So step number 1 is to process all of our garlic. We have a bowl, and we're gonna put all of this paper in this bowl and just get it all cleaned up. Okay, so now that we have all of our garlic processed or peeled, all the paper removed from it, next step is I need to now smash these and peel them. It's really simple. What we're gonna do is just take our knife like you're doing with any type of garlic ever. We're just gonna smash the garlic out of it and take off the rest of this paper, just like that. And then we will take these ends and we're gonna set them aside. Anything that looks like this, we're just gonna go ahead and toss. It's one side, I could cut it out, but I'm just gonna toss it just to be safe. Okay, so in here I have a bowl. I have a whole bunch more to cut, but I'm gonna just speed this up and show you guys a quick process. So I have some of this in here, and I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil. Next up, we're gonna take our food processor right here, pop this in here, The reason we added olive oil into our garlic is because that's gonna help it freeze and stay together. Oh, look at, I missed a skin. That's gonna go in there, like so. And then we're just gonna process this until it's a nice little paste. Almost perfect. I'm gonna go a little bit longer because I still see some more clumps in here. For the most part, this is kind of what we want. This is kind of how you would chop up garlic if you're using it in the kitchen anyways. So just a tad bit longer. Perfect. So the next step is we're gonna take our baking sheet and we're gonna go ahead and line it with parchment paper. After that is all done, we're just gonna take spoonfuls, and that's probably about how much I would use in a serving. We're just gonna clump it together. And then these will freeze together in nice little garlic balls and ready to be used for whatever dish you're making. Okay, so now that we have our garlic like this, I ended up smashing some of them down. I think that's probably gonna be a little bit easier. I'm gonna pop it in the freezer for a minimum 1 hour. The olive oil that you wanna use in it is to help it so it freezes and stays together. You can use any type of oil that you would like. We just prefer olive oil. And while that continues to freeze, I'm gonna go ahead and process the rest of the garlic that we have. We have so much of it. So I'm really hoping that I can at least make a decent amount to fill up a good size freezer bag. So I'm gonna finish processing that really quick. If you have a few cloves that have started to sprout, that's okay. All you're gonna do is peel it and you're just gonna pull out the entire sprout. And then that's just gonna go in your waste and you're gonna process that. Okay, and so while the other one is in the freezer chilling, I have this one in this little Tupperware bowl. All of this sitting in here. I'm gonna put this in the fridge so it continues to cool down. And then after this one is done freezing, we'll take this out. Let me show you guys. They're actually starting to freeze, so they're almost there. But these guys will come off in little chips, just like this. How perfect is that? They're almost done. And then they will get stored in, I think I'm gonna put them in a glass container. I had talked about putting them in a plastic bag, but I'm just gonna do glass with parchment paper in between layers. So I'm gonna pop this guy in the fridge really quick. Okay, so my first batch is done, and I have some little parchment paper strips. I'm gonna pop that down in there, and then I'm just gonna take these guys off of here and just place them in here. And then this is gonna go back in the freezer, and I'm gonna scoop a new batch onto this, and I'm just gonna repeat that process. All right, you guys, so at this point, it's pretty much just repeat the process until all of the garlic is gone. So that is gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys learned something new. Thank you for coming along with me during my favorite time of planting, which is garlic season. I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.